Good evening, and thanks for joining us for What's Your Story? Tonight we are sitting down with a human and a dog. So welcome, Amanda Zimmerman. You are the Youth Services Coordinator?
Yeah, I'm the Youth Programs Coordinator at Animal, well, same difference. So at Animal Welfare Society.
Yep. And you have?
I have Bowie who is
here.
My dog. He's not a rug. Don't adjust your television sets. That is Bowie. He's a very calm doodle puppy. He does belong to me. So he's in training to be a therapy dog right now.
That is so great. That is so great. So how long have you been working at AWS?
I've been working at Animal Welfare Society since September of 22, so a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
It's been a whirlwind of a year, lots of animals, and a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Did you grow up around here?
I did not.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Michigan. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we, in Michigan, you always have your handy dandy map. This is this direction. So over here.
Yep.
on the Lake Michigan side.
Yeah. So what brought you to Kennebunk?
What brought me to Kennebunk? So it was a move for work.
Yeah.
We've lived a few different places. So from Michigan, I also got to live in San Diego, where my first teaching job was, Northern Virginia, and then we came to Kennebunk by way of Northern Virginia.
Okay, wow. So what kind of a teacher?
So when I taught in my first teaching job was in Poway, California, and I was not one of two German teachers. So my background is teaching German.
Oh my gosh, how did you learn that?
Through school.
Good for you.
My family heritage has a lot of Dutch and a lot of Polish. A lot of people in West Michigan have those. So it was about the closest thing to family heritage languages. And I started taking it. And as a lot of students do, you find out you have an ear for language. So it just was something I was interested in and never stopped taking it.
Oh, that is so great. So are you able to keep up with your German here, or? Not
as much as I'd like to.
No.
So in Northern Virginia, I taught German, and so it's about 6 years since I've really taught any German.
Yeah.
I can still rattle off some things and speak. I mean, if anybody, in my family wants some grammar lessons, happy to show them.
Oh,
but
that's so great.
It definitely is a little bit of a use it or lose it thing as we get to be adults.
Mm-hmm. So at the animal shelter, can you walk me through a typical day for you?
A typical day for me, it kind of depends what I'm doing. So I work in a little building that's outside of our main building. It's called the Boston House, named for Mrs. Boston, who used to live there. So it is a little house.
Okay.
I call myself the little house on the prairie. So I'm out there. It depends on what students I have, what I'm prepping for. So we start with our team morning meeting. We all share out some concerns. Our team takes a lot of pride in making, we'll say, taking really excellent care of our animals. So we all, take part in their care. If we notice something, we say it at morning meeting, things like that. So if I have students, sometimes if it's a Friday, I might be packing up my bag, rushing to a local library with an animal in tow to do a story time. My afternoons usually are planning, cleaning, and sometimes going out to do yet another program in the afternoon, or I host some after-school programs. So my day is a lot of teacher planning, copies, things like that, but also animal care. So
wow, that's great. That's really great.
Not everybody can bring their dog and cat to work.
Oh.
And snake. Which I did not bring today.
As we saw last Friday here at the Grace Library.
Yes, we did. Miss Terry got very brave.
But it looked like the snake was very well behaved, and
Absolutely. With youth programs, we make sure that we only use animals that we call bomb-proof. So these are animals that have been around kids, are okay with a crowd, and are almost non-reactive. So the snake that I bring around is actually a resident of Animal Welfare Society.
So they're like your ambassadors.
Yeah, they're a little bit like our ambassador. So Toast, the snake that came, she was actually a Saco stray. I always say she's a gal with a past. She was found slithering around Saco, so our team decided to keep her. So she actually lives in an office, in a tank, of course, not just free roaming.
Wow.
But she was clearly somebody's escaped pet. pet, you would have to go to Central Africa if you wanted to find one in the wild. And so they would never be able to be okay with our winter. But she's a great ambassador. And just like my hamster, Cookie, who lives in our building, it just, sometimes we don't know an animal, or we're afraid of something that we just haven't had a calm exposure to. Most people find a snake on a trail or falling out of a box in our garage, and that's not a calm first introduction. So
now the Animal Welfare Society is doing a lot more outreach. Is that something like, say, 10 years ago that wasn't really happening? Or like that's sort of something that we see you all out there in the community, and that must be helping
I think
adoptions and
I think with everything post-COVID, we've changed a lot. So our shelter also went to a fear-free model where we don't invite as many people in and as many animals in, but we try to go out in the community. Fear-free is really, really good for pet health and mental health, because it makes dogs and cats and animals extra nervous when we have a stream of public. So we just ask that if you're coming to Animal Welfare Society, you have a pet in mind. We have opportunities like story times for kids to meet animals. So as far as the outreach piece, it sort of just evolves with the times,
I think that's
evolves
wonderful.
with the mission, the funding. We definitely have a strong tie to the greater Kennebunk community. Our community clinic is another huge piece that serves our communities as well, because we understand how expensive everything is. We are all part of this economy as well, and we understand how expensive veterinary care is. So we try very hard to, as an organization, get as much in the way of the community clinic, knowledge about our community clinic, letting people know that we have spay and neuter services at a fraction of the cost, and we want that happening.
And I've seen, like when I go to your website, I see that the posting, and I think it's just great that you can offer that.
Absolutely.
It's not just a place to go adopt a pet.
And I will tell you, in April, we're actually doing another one of our free rabies and microchip clinics in Wells. And it is at Wagerstown in Wells, and on our website there's more information, so people can go to our website. You do not have to make an appointment to be part of that clinic, but you can make an appointment so you're not standing in line. So I believe they're opening the appointments early, so you could have a 10 a.m. appointment and show up closer to 10. It's a free rabies vaccination and a microchip. Microchip is the best way to make sure that your beloved pet makes its way home.
That's so great.
And it's only about the size of a grain of rice, and it goes right behind their shoulder blades, and they don't know it's there.
Most people do that these days?
I think so.
I hope so.
I think so. Anything that's adopted out of our care, dogs and cats do get a microchip. Some people elect to microchip other things. We've heard of people with exotic birds microchipping. You don't want thousands of dollars flying away. So
that's true.
And of course, birds are usually very deeply bonded to their people anyway. So,
yes.
But it's definitely a great way to. A collar and a microchip is the best way, because somebody knows it's an owned pet, and the microchip information, when we scan it, it comes up with a code. So we enter that code into a database, and we can find the owner or the veterinary clinic, or in our case, if somebody hasn't registered it, the rescue, and then that's the paper trail to get that dog home.
So you mentioned your this program coming up in March. You also do a really fun event in the summertime, the
Woofstock. Absolutely.
Yes. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It is our premier fundraiser. It's so much fun. It's where our campus becomes a beer garden and dog palooza. So we have food trucks, we've got a kids zone, our dog fences, that becomes a beer garden. So we're always looking for breweries to take part in that. But it just becomes an afternoon of a lot of fun. Adults can sample beers, we have vendors, we have a great food truck lineup that will be coming soon. And it's just a great afternoon to kind of come out, enjoy dogs. We welcome all friendly dogs there. We have a dog cooling center. I'm always there at Kids. I will be there at Kids Away. I shouldn't say always. I was just started there last year, but I'll be there with face paints, temporary tattoos. So we have a really great time, and we would love to see more and more of our greater Kennebunk neighbors coming out to say hi. If you're at the kids zone, please come say hi to me. I love to see familiar faces.
Oh, that's great.
Maybe we can convince Miss Terry to come down. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe you can. And if not, I would be happy to come.
We would love anybody from Graves Library to come on down. It's a great time. And it's for a great cause. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It goes to support everything we do. When animals come to us, they get a clean bill of health. So sometimes some animals come in with a lot of veterinary needs, so it just helps the community at large.
Do you work with fostering at all? Do you have people that foster?
We have a very robust foster program. So fostering is part of what makes our rescue work. We want to keep nobody really enjoys being in an unfamiliar place. So a lot of these dogs and cats that maybe have not even gone out of their house very much, they get very stressed out in a kennel environment, and we recognize that. That's part of fear-free sheltering, and also that we want to get them into a quiet home environment. So we have a wonderful foster coordinator that if people are interested, there's a huge need for fosters of any kind. If you can foster dogs, cats, puppies, kittens, we have tons of small animals, birds, I mean, you name it, we usually need a foster for it. And the fostering is great for our adoptable animals, but also animals that are a part of our social safety net program called Stay at Home, which is a huge program that allows people that maybe would have to give up their animals for reasons like a house fire or homelessness, a little support. So we do some temporary boarding of animals with for a lot of our clients, there has to be sort of an end date, but for clients that are fleeing domestic violence or have things like fires and stuff, it's kind of open-ended, but that's where fostering comes in really key to that program, because sometimes we have to hold on to someone's pet for a very long time, and that pet thrives in someone's home, and our fosters are usually happy to do it. There's a lot of happy tears when there's reunifications, but it's just the biggest piece is keeping people intact with their animals, because we understand how much these are your family members, and we don't, if it's something we can help, we like to help with that.
That is so nice.
And the more there's, it's not a program that anybody can just sign up for. A lot of referrals come from things like social services, social workers and things, but a lot of it has to do with funding too. So it's a program that is pretty crucial in helping a lot of people.
I would think with so many people who are struggling with finding homes, or and even somebody that is domestic violence, if there's something going on there, that's the last thing that, if they know that they can turn to you and say, hey, can you help me out for a little bit of time? Boy, what a godsend that is.
Especially knowing that their dog that they've had for 10 years is just being held on in a safe environment, and that once this too shall pass, and your companion gets to come home too, because we recognize that people do a lot better when we just can keep them together with their animals.
And aren't they, I mean, it's an amazing unconditional love that everybody should experience. Mike Kelly, our producer, and I talk about our cats, and so it's one of those things that nobody loves you like your pet.
Nope.
And you know it, you feel it, and it's just what a special bond that is.
It is. So, I tell students that a lot. I said, you know what? If you're having a bad day, your dog doesn't care if your hair looks funny. Your dog doesn't care if you didn't do well. They just love you, and they'll kiss you and wiggle for you, and so just invest in that.
They're good models of behavior for adults.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the nicest parts of my job, is being able to connect young people with animals just about every day. There is nothing like watching faces. I would say people with animals, because when I bring the pets, the kids are excited, but when I go to schools, the adults are just as excited.
I bet.
And I love to take some extra time in school offices and let all the school staff pet or say hi or meet a snake. But I didn't bring the snake. And the snake is just as unpopular there sometimes. So, but that's okay. But
they get a bad rap.
They do, and it's okay though. I like to also tell students, I'm like, look at how big you are. You're a giant. You're actually scaring this snake. But just connecting young people with animals is a big thing. Sometimes the whatever they're going through, just to
Yeah.
seeing a dog go through the door is
Yeah.
sometimes just makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah.
Animal Welfare Society also has a visiting pets program that's also through our volunteer coordinator, that we have a group of volunteers that have dogs that are trained therapy dogs or have at least made it through Canine Good Citizen. So Canine Good Citizens get through a lot of manners, but also are non-reactive. So that group of dogs, if schools are having crises, if a library needs a reading dog, that's a place to inquire with us. We don't we can't provide you a dog for a birthday party. That's not sort of the mission. But if, so we're having some success. Some of our visiting pets are going to schools, helping school counselors, because
That's so great.
one thing I
Unfortunately,
know,
you need it now.
one thing I
right?
know that there's a huge need in the youth mental health for
Yep.
for things like therapy dogs, for more of these supports. So our visiting pets are definitely busy these days.
Yeah.
And but if people also have that inclination and want to do that sort of work, it's definitely worth reaching out to us at Animal Welfare Society. Visiting pets is kind of an open-ended thing too, because if people have a really friendly parrot or a pig or something, that's also somebody we would like to know for youth programs, because the more that we get the public to get to know some of these different types of animals, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
I can tell.
It is. It is.
So you brought something along with you besides
Oh, I did.
your lovely dog here.
This is Alfie. This is one of my furry time pals. I'm Alfie. I'm just a silly little rabbit. My puppet voices might not be the best, but these are talking ambassadors that I use and employ. And sometimes they are sassy, and sometimes they like to hop, 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 hop. So I use a lot of puppet pals with my story time. This is Alfalfa the rabbit. So he comes usually when we talk about rabbit and rabbit issues, and he likes to tell the kids all about what rabbits eat and things. So when I do furry tales, I always bring, I curate some books that have some, at least our on-theme animal, but one of the biggest things is what I do, and the core of everything I do is teaching empathy. So animals teach us a lot about empathy. If we can take care of animals, we can care about something that's not us. And hopefully when we teach this to children, they start to care more about the world around them. Humane education shows kids the connections between how we live our lives and how it affects animals and our environment and our society. So the books that we try to choose, we try to pick a core of empathy to teach kids a lesson. But as we know with story time, it's a fun, fast-paced time. So we do what we can. It's been one of my favorite days. Okay, it is my favorite day of the week when I get to come to 4 local libraries for furry tales. So if people want more information about that, that's also in our youth programs page on our website, in our literacy program. So every Friday I pack up, I go to, my first Friday is always Kennebunk's library, then I go to Sanford, then of course here to Graves Library, and then my final library is Biddeford's library.
Okay.
So I take the same story time and I go on the road once a week, and I always have a live animal. So for this March, we have a book author coming to our furry tales. His name is Jeff Moulton, and he is going to read Mumford Saves the World, a rescue dog diary. So he is going to join us, and Bowie, our resident rescue dog, is also going to be there. We know how neat it is for kids to meet book authors, so we definitely wanted to partner with Jeff on this, so we look really forward to having him here at Graves.
That's so great.
But yeah, it's just one of the things I do. I feel like I always have about 7 tabs open in my brain, but a lot of teachers, that's sort of how we are.
Wow. So what is your boss's name?
Abigail Smith.
Abigail. Okay, Abigail, I think you need to give Amanda a raise.
Oh.
Because I have never seen anybody twinkle as much as you
Oh my
do
gosh,
about your job.
Thank you.
This is just, I mean, you are the perfect person for this job. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
It's, I mean, you really, you embrace it all, and it definitely shows. I mean, we see it in the kids upstairs when you come, but thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
So,
That's so ridiculously kind of you to say. Like
but it is the truth. I mean,
you.
really, I see the sparkle, and it's It's really lovely to see that. So
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do, and thanks for all you do for our communities. I mean, everybody just, it's a nice thing to be able to offer people, to make them smile.
Absolutely.
To teach them things. So really, I'm gonna be plugging for that raise.
All right.
Okay?
Well, and if you guys really want to come see us, like all of you, if you want to come party with us, kids, April 12th, the day that a lot of you guys have off of school.
Okay,
This was a really big adjustment for me, who's not from New England. I'm like, what's this day
Oh,
off you have? Like Patriot Day. I'm like, go Monitor and Merrimack. I'll take a day off. So we have, I have a springtime event called Kids Bunny Hop.
Okay.
That is from 2 to 4 on that day. We invite people. It's a family-friendly, kind of a gentle. What I do is usually not screaming, not wild, because we usually have animals inside. So it's a place that the whole family can come.
That's so
Your
great.
littles. We always do a springtime craft, but at Kids Bunny Hop, we'll definitely have some crafts, some snacks, and I'll have a bunny for you to meet. We're working on grabbing some contacts for some springtime animals. So we hope last year we had some chicks there.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's just a nice celebration of spring. And if it's really nice weather, we get to kind of spread out outside a little bit. But
That's so great.
and I do events. I do the Kids Bunny Hop in the spring. I do Wolfstock Kids Zone in the summer. In the fall, we love to have you guys come see us at Halloween.
Yeah.
And close to Christmas time, we have the Kids Holiday Party where we also had Miss Terry reading as our celebrity reader.
That's right. That's right.
So I try once a quarter to invite the public to come see us at Animal Welfare Society, and you guys the public's always welcome to stop by and shop in our lobby as well. We have a lot of really great leashes, collars, things like that.
Oh,
so
good to know.
you're always available to come into the lobby and
Yeah.
shop for things like that. Lots of dog toys and things. Lots of dog sweaters. We practically give those away. So if you're a dog as a sweater guy
good.
or gal, please stop by and see us.
Okay, that's great information. Well, thanks for being with us on our show tonight. We really appreciate it, and really
It was
keep
a
up the
pleasure.
good work.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you, buddy.
I think he's
Thanks,
just going to
Bowie.
keep getting better and better, and I hope you see him more and more around.
That sounds great.
Maybe next year you'll lead the pooch parade.
Well, thank you all for being with us. Oh, he's rolling over. There we go. Thanks for being with us for another episode of What's Your Story, and hopefully we'll see you right back here next time.